You by the St. Kitts Nevis National Council on Drug Abuse Prevention in collaboration with SKELEC.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Power Talk. My name is Patrice Harris. I am your host and the Corporate Communications Manager at SKELEC. I wish you a very happy Wednesday morning. It's the first work day after the long holiday weekend, and I hope we took the opportunity to rest, engage in festivities. I know some persons might have traveled, but I'm hoping that it was truly a memorable weekend for you. SKELEC is celebrating its 14th anniversary. SKELEC had its birthday last week, Friday, August 4th. We turned 14, so we're in our teenage years now. So, teenagers are always nice, good, upstanding people, right? So I want to ask the public to join in our celebrations. You'll hear more about that as the month progresses. But we are here today to discuss the topic of electrical safety. At SKELEC, safety remains our number one priority. We ensure that anything that is done is within the safety standards and adheres to safety best practices. This morning, I am joined by two individuals who are delighted to be here this morning. I am saying that because I'm confident that they are delighted, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. So good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Tell the public, the listening public, who you are.
Yes, my name Javid Gilbert. I am Health and Safety and Security and Environment Senior Officer at SKELEC.
All right, good morning, Javid. Thank you for being here with us.
Morning.
You're here quite regularly, and I know when you come, the phone lines start to buzz up because everybody wants to ask Javid a question or say hi, so I look forward to that.
Yes, that type of impression.
Next.
Good morning. My name is Elvis Glasgow, Linesman 3, SKELEC.
All right, so Elvis, this is it feels so weird calling you that, but anyhow, this is your first time here on the program, so I want to welcome you, and I know that you will play a very crucial role in our discussions this morning. So as we're speaking about electrical safety, we're going to be talking about some of the common electrical safety hazards that we tend to witness within households, and we're going to talk to the public as to how they can avoid some of these safety hazards. So Javid, we'll start with you.
Yes, thank you. There are few safety hazards that we often run into. Well, me as an electrician also, you visit person's place, you would find probably broken outlets, switches, and also electrical equipment that does not function as required standard. So some of these hazards would cause possible electrical fires. Persons could get shock from some of these hazards. So those are a few of them.
Okay, so electrical fires are very important. Connie, is there anything, Mr. Glasgow, is there anything you want to add as it relates to some of these hazards and what customers should do to avoid them?
Yes, there is some issues that we've been facing. You have like outlets, for example. They have splitters, and they use many different appliances on that one splitter. That could cause the equipment to overheat, the splitter to overheat and create fires. You have some people have wire run under their rugs that is not very safe, because if the wire get too hot, it's going to catch the rug on fire. Some people get electricians, I apologize for saying that, but suppose electricians that doesn't have any idea what they're doing, but because they want to make a quick money, they just tell the consumers what they feel like and leave a bum job, put the consumers in more expense. That's some for now.
So as it relates to that, because that's something that we stress at SKELEC, that person should ensure that they engage qualified electricians to do work within their household. That's very important because these hazards can be very dangerous and life-threatening. So we want persons to, we know cost is a factor, but at the end of the day, there's really no cost to human life. And the destruction that can happen, it really made sense that you just pay the extra buck to get the work done correctly. So we take this opportunity to put that extra plug out there. And for persons who are just doing these like job works, just a job, just to get some quick money, we want to discourage that and encourage you to upskill, get the necessary skills so that you don't put the consumers at risk because you wanted to make a quick dollar. So Javid, you mentioned that you are the Health, Safety, Security and Environment Senior Officer. That's a department in SKELEC. Can you tell us what the role of that department is, especially when it comes to public and employee safety?
Yes, very important role. It's a small department, comprises of 5 persons at present. Mm-hmm. We have the HSSE manager, the senior HSE officer, which is I, the junior, and we have our admin, and we also have our other HSE worker there also. We carry out a very, very important role at SKELEC. As you speak about, you're thinking about health. When we think about health, we're thinking about persons, not only here in SKELEC, but also here at the public. We want to make sure that what we do, we safely provide electricity to our customers. We don't want to do nothing haphazardly that could affect persons' life. Safety, we speak about workers using the proper equipment. PPEs. The PPEs. We're thinking about the public also not being affected in any negative way because of any downlines. We're not doing our job the way we're supposed to doing. Security. We're thinking about the workers' security while they're on the job, on the roadside, making sure that they protect themselves, providing information to them how to go about maybe probably laying out the traffic cones. When it comes to security throughout our buildings, the admin, the annex, our various areas, that they are properly secure. Our substations also playing very important role in terms that they are being secured and no one goes there and do anything that could risk their life or endanger others. And the environment, we do care about our environment and our footprint. So we do, make sure that we are up to standard such as we dispose of our waste responsible. We also, what we have out there in the public, that they are not affecting the local environment. Persons like maybe a leaking transformer, leaking switch gears, those are things that, and what we bring here on island, that it does not affect our environment in any negative way. Those are some of the brief things that I could say.
I'm happy that you mentioned about the public, because the public, we have an obligation to ensure that they are kept safe, especially as it relates to our operations, and they have an obligation not to endanger our employees, damage our equipment, anything that will affect their safety. One of the challenges that we tend to witness when it comes to dealing with the public is when our crews are out in the field doing jobs, and there's a lot of non-compliance from drivers. So they would see cones, they would see persons trying to direct traffic, and I get these complaints on several occasions. Ms. Harris, when you go on the radio, please talk to persons about ensuring that they abide by the traffic rules that have been put in place, and it's really to ensure the public safety and the safety of our teams. So I really want to take this opportunity to ask the public, when you see SKELEC or any other utility company out in the field, in the road, getting jobs done, it is really to upgrade and improve our systems and infrastructure so that we can better supply power to you. This can only be done once you adhere. So don't pass and give any curse words and try to drive round and maneuver and not want to abide by what has been put in place, because that can impact your safety. We put out these cones and we set these roadblocks because we don't want to endanger anyone. We work in safe environments, and our health, safety, security and environment team actually goes out and polices when these jobs are being done to ensure that the teams are abiding by the safety protocols that have been put in place. So I just wanted to take that opportunity. So, okay, sure, Connie.
To take it further, when we out in the field working, you might find the bucket up in the air, and pedestrians will be passing and they won't pay attention to what they are doing. They walk right under. These things is dangerous.
Yes.
Because when things drop, you're going to get injured. We don't want that. So when you see SKELEC working or anybody working, please do not walk under the people working. Step aside. Thank you.
But to me, these people are extremely brave. Like, me going to walk under a bucket truck. Like, that means that these people are real diehards. We should probably try to employ them at SKELEC, because clearly they're not afraid of live electricity or going up in the air or anything. So, hey, you never know. Can you tell us about what persons should do if they see a sparking pole or a sparking transformer, if they see a down power line, any damaged equipment? What are some of the things that they should do immediately, and what are some of the things that they should not do?
For the down power line especially, don't touch it. Anyhow you see any down line, do not touch it. Stay far away from it as possible. If you see any sparking transformer, sparking at all, you call the emergency hotline immediately.
465-2013.
2013. You give specific information. And some people give trouble, or don't want to give him a number. The purpose of the number is so that the technician does not know where to come, so you have to direct them. And they call the person because the person was already at the scene, so they would know exactly where the problem is. So that's why the purpose of the number. So when we get there, sometimes the sparking finish, we don't know where the sparking was. The person would say, okay, the sparking was there by the third line, so that we could go and see exactly what the problem was.
And not only that, the reason why we ask for the number as well is because our teams do follow up. So you might get a call, because I've had customers say this to me. They got a call after SKELEC calling to make sure that the problem was rectified, if there was another issue, if everything is good. So the number is just really to allow us to do our due diligence and to carry out our customer service objectives. Continue, Connie.
Back on the downline is very important. A lot of people, because we have many lines, they have cable, flow, and SKELEC. SKELEC wires are at the top. If the wire is not coming from the top, then it's either flow or cable. People get mistake with those wires very often. If you are scared, well, fine, no problem is with that. You still can call SKELEC, but that's how it is. We wires are at the top, and then flow and cable is beneath our wires.
Okay. So what else we want them? What should they not do if they see a down the line?
They should not touch it. Keep away from it. Some people would use a stick, but it's dangerous. So don't touch it. Just call the emergency hotline and let us know that we have a down line.
Right. You wanted to add something, Javid?
Yes, just to add to what Mr. Glasgow said. When you see danger, run from it. You're not qualified, to take care of the situation. You call us, we go, we take off the power and do our repairs to that downline.
That sounds like life advice. When you see danger, run from it. I really don't know how people are so daring to be wanting to touch live wires and put them out. I really don't know. But please call our emergency hotline 465-2013 or 600 from a cell phone if you want to leave a message on our auto attendant 465-2000. Let's talk about some of the safety tips, some of the tips for electrical appliances at home, as we're speaking about electrical safety, that we want to share with the public. So how can I ensure that I am practicing electrical safety within my home?
There are a few things that you can do. The question also speak about children.
Mm-hmm.
Educate your children about electricity. I have children. By the time they're within the age of reasoning, start to give them advice. You see that little outlet there? You name it. You say that's an outlet. It is hazard. It can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
You educate your children so they become aware, and they, not to say instill fear, but is also to give them the knowledge to how to safeguard themselves from any potential dangers. Do not have your children plug in your appliances, especially when they are at a certain age. Probably when they mature and they understand, one can do certain things on their own. Do not do that. You have something not working properly, call your electrician, your technician, see what they can do to rectify that matter. Yes, sometimes we're thinking about cost, but if you're thinking about cost, you cannot afford it. Unplug it, keep it there, the appliance there, until you can have someone to come and get it rectified. You overloading circuits, that is a very important thing. Mr. Glasgow spoke about that in a short briefing. You have a number of items plugging into your outlets, and then that thing warming up. You have, it might not happen now, today, tomorrow, or next year, or next couple of years down. But one of the things you realize that each time you shove in that the plug, and you recognize it's getting slack or loose, that's heat, that's lack of connection, and that hazard would build down sometime down the road, and it would cause a fire. And nobody wants the place burned down, because you want to know where you're going to stay the next day. So those are some of the things. Mr. Glasgow could chime in on that.
Yes, like you were saying, the plugs. The next thing I realize that people does do is they want to buy the cheapest cards, and then they would cut off the prong. They have 3 prongs. The third prong is very important. That's why it's
people
there.
cut off the third prong?
Yeah, they would cut it off so that they could push it into a two prong card.
Oh.
Don't do that.
Wow.
That is not nice. That is wrong, because the prong is there to help the appliances in case there is a problem, to send it to earth. So that's not a good idea to do.
Wow, thank you for that, Mr. Gilbert and Mr. Glasgow. I really hope that persons take the advice that you would have shared this morning, because it's very important advice. You don't want to have to rely on having to call the fire department or SKELEC because there's an electrical fire at your home. Even sometimes we're using appliances and we're feeling small, what we say like a small shock, and we're not paying attention to it. That's also very dangerous. So we have to pay attention to our appliances, especially if they are faulty. Again, we know cost is a factor, but the cost of a human life cannot compare to the cost of replacing faulty equipment and paying attention to your outlets. Again, using qualified electricians, that's very, very, very important. So how does SKELEC monitor and respond to electrical faults or emergencies across the island? When there is an emergency, how does SKELEC deal with it?
we have some fault detectors on the lines. Okay, let's say for instance somebody may tie an animal by a pole or a stay wire, and the animal pull hard and he hit the lines. We wouldn't know where that is, so we have some fault detectors that would blink. Then we know which direction to go and look for the fault. Or if somebody hit a pole, we would not know where that is, but then the fault detector would help us to identify, make it easier, I must say, for us to find the problem.
To add to that, our infrastructure react to faults. Sometimes the power go because there's something wrong on the line. So we have circuit breakers at our various secondary switching station or substation that work to protect our infrastructure, but also the public from any down lines. If the lines hit the ground, it will go. And in terms of responding, we have our teams after getting the call. There are basically two ways: communication coming from the public. Our system control, our generation control are aware of a certain amount of load has fallen off of, say, the can feeder. These areas are affected. We go about to address these. And if the guys cannot deal with it, like the first responder, we call the emergency team, they will call their supervisors or superintendents, and the superintendents will have the necessary resources or human support to come and rectify that problem.
So we spoke about the identifying and the response. I want Connie to just give us a small idea, because sometimes people think they call SKELEC and SKELEC should come right away. Tell us how the job order, how the work order occurs, so that we can help the public to manage their expectations when they call in if they witness a fault or anything.
Okay. SKELEC, especially let's say we're working from 4 to 12. From 4 to 12, there's only 2 persons working in the field. That person have to manage the whole of St. Kitts. Now, we work by jobs. If 5 jobs come in, we take it by the way they comes in. And we have a safety, how must I say this? We take it by how the jobs come in. Let's say there is a fluctuating voltage, and then you have one person out of power. The fluctuating voltage is more of an emergency than the person without power, because the fluctuating voltage, the person have current that is damaging the appliances. The one where don't have any power, they are safe. So we deal with the fluctuating voltage first, and then we go and deal with the one who don't have any power.
So it overall depends on the severity of the job or the damage that could be caused. And it's kind of like a balancing act as well, because that person who might have been without power for several hours. So you also don't want them to be without power for too long. So I just want the public to understand there might have already been jobs taking place. There might have been on a job, let's say fixing a street light, and then a major fault occurs that our crews have to go and attend to. So it just requires some patience. We don't have a 1,000-man crew. We don't have that type of manpower. Our ships are 2 and 3 persons, and the persons need to be called out. They are called out. So we just want the public to be patient when it comes to dealing with when you're reporting your faults. We're going to talk about when you're building. We have callers. Okay, I can open up the phone lines for some callers, and we'll take those callers. Do we have any callers as yet, GQ? No? All right. So we're going to talk about when you're building. What are some of the safety considerations for buildings, and Javid, you can touch on that, and I want Mr. Glasgow Connie to talk about when we have some of these older properties, what we need to be mindful of when it comes to electrical safety and expanding on these older properties. So, Javid, new properties.
Yes, yes, Patrice. So, you're going to build, I don't know what you're going to be, probably a home, a workplace, whatever, apartments, whatever you're going to do. So some of the things that an electrician or whoever is going to build your home, they're looking for like system design and load planning, which basically speaking about the load that building is expected to use, what that building is using, it's going to be facilitating. If it's going to be business, commercial, residential, industrial, there are various electrical standards that have to be followed. And also, persons come to us down at our offices, ask question what is expected, what we need to do in order to get our electricity. That is very important because sometimes persons start to build their homes without coming to SKELEC and say, I need a supply and this is what I'm expecting, without knowing what we can provide them depending on where they are located. So those are some of the things that we are looking at. So, and now these days, we have a lot of persons adding to their homes now. Adding to their homes, you have to pay attention to what you are at, because the existing circuit probably was only designed to take care what that is there, and now you're thinking about adding on to your property. So you have to do some form of consideration, have your electrician do its due diligence. You also do your due diligence, because there are things that you can go, we have our phones, we have various things that we could, we type in and ask, yes, get your information, and then I say, okay, then that's mean I would need a sub panel, because it's basically apartments I want to put downstairs, and maybe I need a sub panel. You need to upgrade. You want a HVAC system, an AC system in your home. So you have to know what size breakers. You have to upgrade your panels and stuff like that. But as I said, like you're building a new home, it's all about what is expected, what you want to do to that building, and what you're looking, because there are various electrical standards that we follow. Also here by law, what is expected for residential, commercial, industrial, because these things are important for safety. As we speak about fire hazards, persons could get hurt from a shock or whatever. And also the quality of supply that you want to have in your home. You don't want to have your lighting and your outlets and your ACs and everything on one breaker. These should be distributed accordingly and up to standard. And also when your electrician wire that facility, let him give you a walkthrough what these breakers are for. And don't let them leave that place until they label these breakers, what each label. This is the lighting circuit, this is the outlet, bedroom 1, 2 or 3, your kitchen or whatever, or your AC. Make sure they label it, because at the end of the day, you're home, you live somewhere, maybe on a new project out in the wilderness, we could say. Because those are some of the things that, we have customers probably would call us and say that they're in a situation, half of their house is on and the other half is off. And we will advise them, because it's also a security issue too. You also have to think about the security, because lighting provides a sense of security.
And that's something that we really encourage at SKELEC, because you'll be surprised to know how many customers don't know where their main switch is. Yes. And we encourage customers to know where your main switch is, know which one of those breakers, as Javid mentioned, corresponds to which area in your home, especially during the hurricane season, especially during periods where there might be some interference. and we find that customers don't know. So we encourage that. We do send out those notices, encouraging persons to know where the main switch is in your home. All right, Connie. So Javid spoke about the new properties. What about some considerations for older properties?
The older properties, when they was built back then, the wires was smaller. You know, a lot of people just go and just start adding on, and that is not a good thing to do. You have to let your electrician check the wiring and make sure that they are adequate to add other equipments on them. And as Mr. Gilbert said, many people now use AC, and AC pulls a lot of amps, and the smaller wires, they was not designed to carry so much amps. So the electrician will be the one to explain that to you better, but it's best to just get an electrician to make sure that your house is in good standing when you're ready to add extra appliances to that circuit.
All right, thank you so much for that. We're getting ready to wrap up the program. Before we wrap up the program, I'll encourage any callers who might have any questions they want to ask or any comments they want to share to take the opportunity to do so now before we wrap up the program. Javid, we're going to talk about you can tell us about some of the public awareness initiatives that the Health, Safety, Security and Environment Department has engaged in or plans to engage in, especially to promote electrical safety at home, on the job, with the public, with our employees as well.
Yes.
We have a call? All right, wonderful. Good morning, caller, you're live.
Good morning, Patrice. Sexy Patrice, Paula. Glad to hear your voice. Happy late anniversary. Calling to big up y'all.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Paul. I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend.
Big up Yellow Man. Big up the team.
I will send the commendations to Yellow Man and the team. Thank you so much.
Thanks, SKELEC.
All right.
Love you all.
Love you too, Paula. Love you.
Thanks, Missy. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Morning, Juku. I'm behind the queue.
Morning, Paula.
Do we have any more callers, GQ? All right. So, Javid, tell us about the safety initiatives.
Yes. As you're aware, every year we have a safety week. Like mostly is the last week of April. Sometimes it fall over into May. We have different initiatives. We have our we speak on the SKELEC end. We have our teams involved in Hydration Day. We also award persons who do good practices, safety practices. We make our employees them engage in the importance of safety and what to do. We also have challenges that we would do, like recently. This year we did the AI challenge. That was I would call that an engineering marvel, AI, and it was quite engaging because our workers then participate in like designing the PPEs, and then this AI would the camera would AI would recognize it if it is a PPE or if it is not, and rate it accordingly. And these are things that we talk for the ministry, the technology up there at the industrial site. They engage with us, so we also work along with other the government and private stakeholders in terms of the week. So it's really an active week, and we do rodeo, like competition, and so the public could come out and see what we do and the polls and the importance of safety, how we why we do certain things, why we have the ropes them coming down, and the way we do our job, because sometimes people want their power back on, but there's a step towards that. So those are things so and public bring out the persons bring their children, and you also help us to educate the public, but also encourage persons to join SKELEC in the future, young entrepreneurs in engineering or whatever, those type of things there. So it's normally a very active week, a very engaging one.
And we also forgot about the drills.
And the drills,
so
yes,
we also
exactly.
do simulation drills from time to time. We have done so many different drills. I think the public has now become more sensitized and accustomed. But really and truly, safety remains. I'm not gonna say is our number one. It remains because I don't want people to think that we just started paying attention to safety. Safety for our employees and our public remains the number one priority for SKELEC, and that's why we're using all of these mechanisms to engage with our public to let them know that it's very important that they adhere to safety protocols, that they call in and report anything that doesn't seem to be right. Down power lines, don't touch them. We do a lot of public awareness and sensitization when it comes to hurricanes, because this is where we can see a lot of hazards and people get real endearing during hurricane times. They want to see and they want to know and they want to be a part. So we encourage you to, it's not only for our protection but for your protection. So gentlemen, we are going to wrap up the program now. I'll give you the opportunity to provide any parting words, any final encouragement to our listening audience.
What I have to say is be safe. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Yes. I would also like to say, it's a hurricane season, as Miss Harris spoke to. Be aware. Get yourself ready. Know what is going on in your home. Secure your home, your property, and engage with SKELEC. We have our Facebook, our different platforms that you could find information with what to do during this season. The other thing is that we work hand in hand with the public. So, when you're planting your fruit-bearing trees or your decorative trees, know how tall that tree can grow. That is one of those struggles that we're having at this present moment, that people planting fruit trees, which I love fruits, but sometimes those fruit trees is going up in the line, and that is an expense that SKELEC has to take up, because we have to pay private persons purchase, because our work crews are so engaged with other jobs that we, some things we have to contract out, and also making sure that the contractors them work safely. So that's it. So you could imagine the thought process, the engagement, the cost in doing these things. So one of the things that the public can do for us to help cut costs and help us go ahead is to be aware where you plant your fruit trees. Look up and see if there's any lines. Because by law, by right, we can go and cut that tree that is approaching our line or that is in our line.
But also prune the tree before it goes too tall, and then it becomes a hazard. Because when the storm does come and the wind start to howl and the branches bring down the lines, it means it's going to take a longer time for you to get your power back to your home.
Exactly.
So put yourself in a position, I like to tell people, set up yourself for success, put yourself in a position where you don't have to be on the long list waiting to have your power restored when there was something that you could have done to prevent that. So that's also a major part of electrical safety as well. If there are trees in the lines near you, you need to call us and report it so that we can come and make an assessment. And remember, SKELEC doesn't have a tree cutting service. We have a service where we remove vegetation from our infrastructure, because sometimes people call and they want their trees cut, and we don't have that service. So we come, we make an assessment. If it is impacting our infrastructure, we will have a team come and remove it. Sometimes a few days time, sometimes 2 weeks time. It just depends on what is happening, because again, it's the resources that we're utilizing, and these resources have to do everything within SKELEC, the bucket truck, the crews, everything. So I just want us to be mindful of that. Was there something else you wanted to add, Javid? No, I'm okay. All right. So Mr. Glasgow, Mr. Gilbert, thank you for joining us on air this morning. We want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. You were tuned in and listening to Power Talk. We'll be back in another week time. and we'll continue to discuss very engaging topics that will help you to become more aware as to how to be a good consumer of SKELEC, and just to explain anything that you might not fully understand. Remember that SKELEC is the nation's leading utility provider, and we wouldn't have it any other way. When you see a SKELEC worker this week, tell them thank you, we appreciate you, and happy birthday. Bye bye.